Hey everybody, today we've got the Terävä Skrama from varustelika.com. I know some of you wanted to see this knife, so stick around and see it in action. Alright, hey y'all, welcome back and check it out. We've got the Skrama from Varustelika, and I've already put some time on it yesterday clearing trails and marking trails for hunting season. This thing destroyed some trees and saplings. It's a beast of a chopper, I can tell you that for sure. I have not done any finer kind of detail work with this knife. It does have this special grind here. So what I'm going to do now is try some finer work, just some of the typical stuff that I do, nothing major, just to see if I can do it. Now we'll check out the specs and the sheath. Alright, so this is a close-up of the blade. I'm going to put the specs on the screen as we go across. You can see that. Look at that spine. And the handle, same rubber handle as the Puko, which I really like. You can see here it has a much bigger lanyard hold and that full tang. See that thickness. The sheath is the same quality leather. The dangler system, snap-on sheath, and it does have the larger insert, so the blade fits in there pretty nice. So it has a little rattle. So overall, you know, it's a quality sheath in my opinion for such a big blade. And no thumb ramp. Easily deploys the knife. So let's get to some of the finer work. See if we can't carve on a stick a little bit. We're going to choke up. That's one of the cool things with this handle, is that I can choke up and use that finer grind, and then of course hold back and really chop. If you look, maybe you can tell the difference in the grind, you know, from here to here. You can see where they sharpened it right there. So that's what I'm going to attempt to use right now. Alright, we've got us a stick. We'll start off with, we'll just do a simple V cut, then we'll try a box cut, then the 90-degree notch. Okay. So that was, you know, it's comfortable, but I'm not gonna lie, it's not as easy as using a, you know, 4-inch Mora blade. Alright, we'll do a simple V. Okay, there's the V notch. I did it pretty easily, comfortable. You know, right here it's really tearing into it. Let's see if we can show the difference now. Holding it with this grind. Bites in, cuts raw. Now let's move over and use this other grind. It's definitely not as easy. Now watch. See that? You can even hear the difference. So that's proven. Alright. Alright, there's another crude example of a box cut. So I have to say after that I can tell that I've been holding this knife. I think just based on the sheer weight of it and having to, maneuver it a lot differently to carve out the end, and just the weight of it. I can definitely tell I've been holding it versus the 110 that you saw in my other video. But did it perform? Yeah, sure did. I mean, it bites well. If you use this, you have to use that up. Anything from here and above, it just doesn't perform as well. Alright, let's just try simple 90 degrees. Now look how that bites in right there. Alright, there's an attempt at a 90-degree angle cut. Again, the same thing. It's not as easy as, 4-inch blade, but it does get the job done if this was all you had. Alright, so just trying to whip something up real quick. There's another example of the detail work you can do with this edge right here, choking up. So that finer grind right there can definitely produce some feather sticks. Let's see the difference when I attempt to use this part of the blade. Okay, so it'll still do it, just not as easy in my opinion. So that's it for the finer work. Let's get to some chopping. I know you want to see it. Okay, so after doing that fine work, before I get into the chopping, I wanted to mention there is one thing when holding this, like to do the finer detail. I'm not finding it as comfortable right here on this hump. My third finger catches it, so I can hold it like that where the hump is, kind of in between, but it's not as natural. I just pick it up and hold it like this. And if this hump were less pronounced, and I like the fact that it's there, but maybe if they just shorten it a little bit so it's not as pointed. That would be my only small complaint right now. Just have to be honest about the knife and whatever I'm using. I do wish that was less pronounced, less pointy. But by no means is it, make the knife bad or not perform. It's not even really a hot spot. I can just feel right here on this finger. All right, let's get to some chopping. Why don't we? So here's the tree that I've been using to test in my last few videos. And slowly I'll get it cut down to where I can move it. But it's working out well for these testing shots. So now we're going to get into it with the Terävä Skrama. We're going to hold back and chop. Alright, so here's our branch, and pretty solid, pretty thick. I know it's going to bounce, so that's going to play a lot into how well it performs. But we'll cut it here and we'll cut it lower like we did before. Look at that. Awesome. All right, now we're going to come down a little bit towards the base of the tree. Okay, now see what we can do. Beast of a knife right there. Love this thing. All right, let's take a look at the blade. Now, keep in mind, folks, I used this a lot yesterday, clearing trails. All these marks are from that. She looks good. All right, we've got some more of this tree to clean up. Little chopper right here. Here we go. That was my fault. That almost hit the camera. So here's another dead tree. We're going to chop it. We're going to hold it back. Alright, I've got to be fair and honest. That particular time, and maybe it's because I've been doing it all this time and I'm just now feeling it, and my hands are really sweaty. I could feel right here on my pinky, and it's from my hand sliding and catching that right there. And it's not bad, but I can feel it. Alright, we got another dead tree and we're going to try some two-handed chopping. Alright, so we're choked up. We're going to use two hands so I can actually fit both of my hands. Beast mode. This should be the last one. I do not recommend the two-handed approach. What I felt here, one hand is compounded with two hands in the force, and I could feel it. You're much better off using one hand, and you can really swing it. Okay, we're going to trim this down some. Because it's so big and wide, you can use this as a draw knife. So it doesn't catch your hand. Of course, use caution anytime you use any knife like this. Also, I would like to note that the spine doesn't really feel like a 90-degree, and not like the Jacques Ripucco. Now right here is definitely a 90 degrees. So if you had to use the tip right there, you could easily strike. But even with it not being a 90 degree, that's nothing that a few minutes on a file won't fix. Alright, we are back at the tree of destruction. And we'll do the tip test. But first I'm going to pound out this pommel. Like you really need to see that anyway. Now grabbing it way up here, I'm feeling my hand slip. You can probably see it. See that? So now let's grab it down here. That's a lot of blade to be swinging like that though. I don't really feel too comfortable doing this. So come on, it's a huge frickin' pommel. not going to break. Wow. Yeah, there's no doubt this tip looks okay. Gracie's on the tree of destruction. Gracie, tell me. Tell me. Huh? Hey, tell me. Tell me. Good girl. Alright folks, so that does it for the field use test of the Terävä Skrama from varustelika.com. Please check out the links below to their site. They've got lots of cool products, not just knives by any means. I really like this knife. It's dual purpose. It's a beast of a chopping tool, but it does allow you to choke up and with this grind perform some more finer detail work. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Leave me a comment. If you've got any of these Terävä knives, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.